Hello and welcome to Modena to Maranello, your Ferrari motorsport podcast. Everything Le Mans, another win back to back. That's what it's about today. So my name's Toby here in London.
And my name is Paul here in Birmingham.
So it was great to see, obviously, crossing the line in first place, the 50 car this year, of course. Absolutely outstanding last stint there by Nicholas. And what can you say? I think we were all on tenterhooks there at the end, but absolutely blistering. We were all ecstatic, I'm sure. But Paul, I mean, going back a little bit of the whole week there, it's great to see that they've got the tradition upheld. You know, the weigh in and the driver parade, all of those things through the town of Le Mans. It's fantastic to see that. Whether you're there in person or seeing the footage online, you know, what do you think?
Yeah, so Toby, the traditions of Le Mans is absolutely fantastic. You've got the parade in the town, which you get, I think, up to about 250,000 people, spectators there, and
Yeah.
all the drivers, legendary cars, obviously throwing caps and signed cards and taking selfies with the crowd. It's a great tradition. It's obviously free, which is great. People just can turn up in the town, and that really kicks off part of the week as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's the jewel in the crown. It's the most famous race in the world. So you know, it has to be a spectacle, and it is every year. And yeah, I think it's fantastic. All of that, as you just mentioned, all the parades, driver signing, the way in, everything is just. It's fantastic to see that. It really sort of builds the entire week. I mean, not just that, the amount of practice sessions they have,
Yeah,
and you know, the qualifying. There's always something on track for a week before. There's something going on every day, and you know, the festivals they have on
yeah,
site. It's an incredible event. I mean, obviously Formula One is a condensed version of that over the weekend,
yeah,
but it still puts it to shame as far as I'm concerned.
yeah.
Nothing comes close to that.
No,
Yeah, it's incredible.
and also, so you've got so many other traditions like the start. There's always a celebrity or sports person to start the race off.
Right.
The flying over they have as well with the French colours with the smoke. I think it was Tom Christensen this year
Mhm.
to be the Grand Marshal. So I have all these traditions, which is great to see. I
Absolutely.
love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Long may it continue. Absolutely.
So Toby, the 24-hour race for fans at the circuit and watching on TV it's a marathon. Um, and
Yep.
there's so many other things going on. We got busy lives, so it's trying to find the time to be able to sit and watch as much of the race as we can. So
Yeah.
how many hours did you get to watch of the race?
I actually watched all of it apart from 2 hours. So there were two because it was over 4 hours. Like, was it nearly 4.5 hours of safety car?
Yeah, yeah,
And so about 2 hours into that, I thought I was looking at the weather radar, thinking, well, this isn't going anywhere fast, right? This is going to be around. So I did take that opportunity to have a quick 2 hour nap, and I set my alarm for 2 hours and absolutely zonked out and woke up, and it was a good time to wake up because it was about half an hour after that things started to get back to normal again. But
yeah,
but I just felt really sorry for the fans at the circuit
yeah,
because you know the temperature in the day where
yeah,
we were there it was fantastic, but even at night, even on without the rain, it gets cold, right? So
yeah.
with the
Absolutely,
rain
yeah.
coming down, those poor guys. I saw an interview with two Kubica fans, and they were just like, oh, it's freezing, you know, and we're just finding somewhere to shelter, and we're sleeping, and it's wet, and you know the weather conditions are horrific, but we're staying here and we're loving it, and I'm actually glad I wasn't there this
No, I
year
know. I was thinking that. I was thinking
from
I'm
that
so glad I'm
point of
not there
view.
with all that rain through the night because, as you said, you go to the track, say maybe about midday, and it's normally probably not so much this weekend, but normally it's pretty hot. So you're sort
Mhm.
of great. I just take a light jacket in my bag for the evening, and all is good. But then you suddenly get to night time, and you think
Yeah,
it's cold, and
yeah.
add rain onto that, and it's not pleasant because there's not many places to go undercover as well.
No, no, of course not. Yeah. So, and especially if you have a sleeping bag, a lot of people did. I think we were at Tet
Yeah,
Rouge and there's a lot of people just in sleeping bags. And imagine
yeah,
the rain coming down on them,
yeah,
the wet sleeping bags, wet everything, wet clothes, wet sleeping bags, wet ground, wind, rain. Like that's not really fun. Thankfully it brightened up fairly early in the morning. The sun was up. So I hope they all dried out and felt better about it. I'm sure they did. I mean, the atmosphere alone is enough to sort of bring you
yeah,
out of that, isn't it? And
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
so, how about? I mean, did you fall asleep? Did you have a nap at any point, or?
Well, I was working on the Saturday, and I got talk about heavy rain. I got with my job. I was outside. I got
Mm.
absolutely soaked, and then yeah, I
Oh
got
no.
home and I got sat down for about 2:45 British
Mm.
time, which is when it starts at 3 in
Yeah.
our country. So yeah, just about got there. I watched it till about midnight. Then I think that's when the safety car came out, and I just thought,
Hmm.
well, I might as well go and get some sleep. It looks as if it's going
Hmm.
to be a while. There was heavy rain. It wasn't going away.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
I did my alarm for about 2:30. I got up again and went downstairs and sat down and put it on. And I think I was just tired. I was probably sitting there for about half an hour thinking, there's no point sitting here now. It's nothing's happening for a while. So
Yeah. That's it.
went back to bed. And
Mm.
so in a way, it was really good. It was a safety car, so we got some sleep
Mm.
in the
Yeah.
24-hour race.
I'm
I
sure
got
we
up
weren't
about
the only
six,
ones. Yeah.
no, I got up about 6 o'clock and
Mm.
back on watching it.
Hmm.
Um, had to pop out for a little bit, sort of late morning, and luckily, kindly, you kept me up to date with what was going on, and
That's right. I
I
was.
knew it
Yeah,
was
I remember that.
really
Yeah.
hotting up the way you were sending the messages. So luckily, I got back for that
Yeah.
last hour and a half, 2 hours of the race. So I couldn't have missed that
Yeah.
last
No, no.
into the race.
Almost at the point where you were leaving, everything went nuts, right? With the
Yeah,
strategy and the possibilities, and the rain was coming back, and it was like, okay, this is it. Like this is happening now. It was the last maybe 4 hours of the race, and
yeah,
it really started to happen. And
yeah,
and it was a shame with Kubica's car.
yeah,
Obviously he had the penalty as well.
yeah.
But when he came into the pits, it was just, just it was his right front that was just smoking like
Yeah,
crazy,
and
and
the whole car just looked, it was done, wasn't it? You could just tell they just
yeah,
wasn't going to put it out there. It was
yeah,
such
it
a
was a
shame because
shame.
he did so well, and it would have been, I mean,
Absolutely.
it's obviously great to see the 50 car win, all the
Mm.
51 car, but it would have been a big story if it was the 83 car that had won the race.
I mean, I don't want to jinx things for next year, but I tell you what, it looked like he was, or that whole team, that looked like they were going to do it because they
Yeah,
were romping away,
yeah,
and
yeah.
even with the penalty, it didn't really affect them too much.
No, no, no.
So, I mean, what do you think about the penalty? Do you think it was his fault? There's a lot of talk about it. Was it his?
Yeah,
He should have got it. And there was this whole thing about they're not accepting is it BMW, wasn't it? They're not accepting the apology from Ferrari about it,
yeah.
and there was a whole thing today I was reading. What do you think about all of that?
From a Kubica side, obviously it was heavy rain coming down. It was dark,
Hmm.
obviously, down
Yeah,
the
yeah.
straight at speed. It was obviously overtaking a slower car, blue flag.
Hmm.
And I suppose you so sort of focused looking forward at suddenly sort of dark and a few lights of a car,
Hmm.
that he obviously just didn't notice the car behind. Obviously, I think if it wasn't such a situation where the barrier needed to be repaired and the car was
Yeah.
gone, the
Hmm.
BMW, then I think he would have got away with it a lot better. If it was on the grass or something where he'd just taken a car out and he went onto the grass a little bit and fumbled and tapped the side and got back on, it might have been okay. But because obviously the situation of the barrier and the BMW, I think that heightened the situation, and I
Yeah.
suppose the dangerousness of the situation as well.
As far as I was concerned, it was a racing incident. Obviously, no one would do that on purpose.
No,
So
no, no.
it was what it was. But yeah, it was a shame. I was really gutted for them, and actually, my heart was sinking at that point because I thought my
Yeah,
hopes were kind of pinned on on them doing it.
Yeah, that's
And
right. But
so
if it was not them, that was it then for us.
yeah, that's
Um,
kind of how it felt. But things started to change. But
yeah,
I think it was the penultimate stop, and Toyota looked very pleased with themselves.
yeah,
Maybe 90 minutes from the end,
yeah,
and you could see Toyota were like, "Yeah, we've got this. Like, we made the right
yeah,
strategy
yeah,
call. There's no way they." And I think they're right. Like, it just
yeah,
didn't seem like
yeah.
a way out of it for us. I think I felt
No,
like we were boxed into a corner,
yeah,
from a strategic point of
yeah,
view. But we got lucky. We did get a little bit lucky because the rain
yeah,
came down and safety car
yeah,
again,
yeah.
and after our last stop, I thought there's no way we could make it to the end. No
No,
way.
no, no.
Nicholas. Wow, what a drive to maintain that and save energy like that. And like I say,
Yeah,
we did get a little bit lucky, of course, but that's racing.
yeah,
And to cross the line with 5% left. I
yeah. I
mean,
think it was about 2%. I think at the end.
was it? Was it even? I thought it was
Yeah,
five.
it was
Wow,
about
that's incredible.
2%. I mean, that guy is just amazing to me. He's
Yeah,
obviously a
yeah,
young guy still, and he's
yeah,
just so mature, and he's just
yeah.
calm. He makes no mistakes. He's
Hmm.
quick.
Yes,
He is absolutely awesome,
yeah,
and
I think so.
have that sort of pressure. Not only
Yeah,
you leading Le Mans with Ferrari,
mm,
but the pressure that this might all go. You might not even finish.
yeah,
As you've got so many things you've got to do. And
hmm,
he told his engineer, just leave me to it. Be
yeah. He
like
knows what he's doing.
Kimi
Yeah,
Raikkonen. I know what I'm
that's right.
doing.
Yeah,
Leave me to it.
yeah.
He was just looked calm. Maybe he wasn't inside, but he just looked
I'm
calm through his
sure he
eyes and
wasn't.
the helmet.
Yeah,
Um, but no, he was absolutely immense, and
yeah.
he's going to be so pinnacle, I think, in endurance racing over the next number of years,
I think
whatever
so.
it
Yeah.
is. Yeah,
I mean, and all credit to the strategy.
yeah,
Whoever that team is, because well, the whole team, of course, but whoever made that strategy call,
yeah,
they absolutely figured it out. Like they were
yeah,
like, if you do this X, Y, and Z,
yeah,
and save
yeah,
and save, and
yeah,
lift and coast, like we've got this because we had quite a gap between the Toyota. So I
yeah.
think even if it come down to 10 seconds, or I think he had enough to just push from that point of view. I I honestly, I didn't know. I was just sitting there like shaking. I was like, this
Yeah, I
can't
think
be happening. Like
I saw on social
you know,
media. I think most people, the last sort of 10 minutes of the race, were not watching actually the cars, just watching the percentage going
for
down
sure.
on the
Yeah,
thing. And
that's it.
6%. Oh God, 5%. Oh,
Yeah,
how long's left? And
yeah,
yeah, they're just focusing on
yeah,
that. I
yeah.
just felt that they know what they're doing.
They
It,
did know what they were doing, and
he'll be fine.
yeah, like I say, that last stint was just unbelievable and
Yeah,
totally deserved. I thought because last year they got super unlucky, didn't they? The 50 car
yeah,
with the stone in the radiator, and
absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
that and they were quick up until that
Yeah,
point as
I mean the
well.
50 car have always been the key car in my opinion. They've always been the
Right.
quickest car. They're always qualifying, always up there.
Fuoco, like
Things
always, bang.
never quite work out in the race for
Yeah.
them that so far. But
Mm.
luckily this one. So all six drivers now won Le Mans since they
Yeah.
in October 2022 when they announced as the hypercar drivers. Would they believe thinking, guys? By middle of 2024, you would have all be Le Mans winners.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Double winners in 2 years.
Unbelievable, isn't it? And nice to see them keeping the continuity there with the drivers. They
Yeah,
understand the team needs time to gel and work together, and they've done that. Something again Formula One could learn from, because that's
absolutely.
been
Yeah,
completely
yeah, yeah.
disrupted, again this year, or next year. But yeah, unbelievable. So I'm not going to say anything about next year, but let's hope things can continue because it's absolutely spectacular. And I've been on a high. It was so
Yeah.
beautiful.
We've had quite a few boring F1 races, haven't we, over the
Hmm.
season and the years, and
Yeah.
that race was just so
It's
exciting.
well, this is the other thing. Like, how crazy is it? You could have a 24-hour race, and yet it gets that tense in the final stages of the race. You'd think the cars would be so spread out, and it wouldn't be a race at all. It would just be all over, and suddenly it's that close and that tense at the end. Who would have thought? You know,
That's
it's
it.
it's impossible
And
to
also,
predict. It's Le
when
Mans,
you're
you know.
racing for 24 hours, you know you're probably going to get maybe a penalty throughout 24 hours for some
Right.
situation. You know something's going to go wrong, like your wiper falls off, or your door won't close, or
Well, that's
something like
yeah.
that.
That was the other thing. All of those crazy. Like your door won't close. Like reach across and pull it, and he's like, "Well, I can't. Like I'm strapped in it. You know, what do you want me to
Yeah.
do? You know, all of
Going
those.
back to Le Mans 1966 with Ken Miles and the Ford GT. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. And did they get the hammer out and just close it?
I love that the rubber
Um,
mallet comes out and
That's
starts
bang,
hammering on
bang,
the
go on,
door.
go, 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 go. But no, I think that's what's really good about the 24-hour race. You know something goes wrong, but it's such a long race that you can
Yeah.
come back. In Formula
Mhm.
One, you get a 5 second penalty, or you have a
Mhm.
puncher or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
more than likely, unless you're Max Verstappen, him
Yeah.
aside, that you're not going to get a win or a podium.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's
Absolutely.
absolutely fantastic in World
It's
Endurance
it
Championships where
it's
you can
it's
come
funny
back.
because it's true. I think after about 2 or 3 hours of racing, I was reading people online saying, "Oh, this is over already." You know, it's like Toyota this and Alpine this and you know maybe 2 hours. And people are like, "What are you talking about? This is a 24-hour race. Like anything could, literally
Yeah,
anything,
yeah,
as and it did. Anything could happen at this point." But
yeah,
within a couple of hours, you know, the Alpines they both shit themselves, and
yeah.
you know, the
That's it.
Toyota
Yeah,
had a spin,
the
didn't they? And
BMWs had major issues that
yeah,
they'd gone,
yeah, yeah. It was
and
it was
yeah,
crazy, you know.
it's one of those where sometimes you think, well, maybe you don't want to be in first position till the end. You want to be sort of
Right.
just on the same lap, just
Yeah.
back a little bit and have everything in your locker to
Mhm.
go.
Yeah.
It's a real strategy and an intelligent race.
Exactly that. Intelligence and just you know, I guess you know it's called an endurance race for a reason.
Yeah,
you've got to have your wits about you for 24 hours. You know, they say drivers sleep. I very much doubt they sleep that much, if at all, because you're
no,
so hyped. You can't just get out of the car
no.
racing 320 kilometers an hour or whatever down the straight and just go full straight to sleep, can
Yeah,
you?
I mean,
So
even with the
yeah,
safety car, myself sleeping, I'm still awake, if that makes sense. I'm sort of
for
resting,
sure.
but I'm still
Yeah.
awake because I'm still adrenaline, and I know there's a
Mhm.
race going on, and I'm still there in one way. I'm sure that drivers
Yeah,
are
you
still in
for
that in
sure.
that. I'm not going into a deep sleep, am I? I'm going to get up in a few hours for this race. So yeah,
Exactly, exactly. You
yeah.
know, yeah, no,
Yeah, we must, acknowledge the drivers, the teams, the staff,
yeah,
the
yeah,
marshals, all the workers at Le Mans. I mean, they do such a fantastic job. They work so hard, probably be
yeah,
very little
absolutely.
sleep. I mean, the teams must be just a little bit concerned if before the race in practice, say, or qualifying, they they wreck the car. The amount of work they've
Well,
got to
yeah,
do. Not only they've got a 24-hour race, but then before they've maybe staying up for 24 hours to repair a car, which I think
yeah.
Callum Ilott
De,
car, that's
well,
the
De Vries did that, didn't he? He went into the back of someone on a
yeah.
practice
Luckily,
before
I
a
think just
race.
needed a new front nose with that. It wasn't so bad, was
Right.
it? But no, still again. So they do a fantastic job.
Yeah.
It crazy for them, isn't it? To think
It is
how many
crazy.
hours
It is.
uh, they're ready for anything, aren't they? Rain, suddenly they've got to change tires and safety cars and
Mhm. They've got to be
so.
alert and ready to go at any point.
But
Absolutely.
no, absolutely
Yeah.
amazing. So
Yeah, full
we sit
credit to
there and just
everyone.
enjoy the spectacle, and these guys are putting so much effort into to make it
Yeah,
happen.
absolutely.
And also, we've got to mention it's been 90 years since a team have won Le Mans
Hmm.
and Monaco in the same year,
That's
which was
right.
Alfa Romeo in 1934. So that's
Yeah.
an amazing feat to be able to achieve both in the same
Mhm.
year. And I know we spoke about it before, but wouldn't it be great to see Ferrari win the Indy 500 race as well to get the big triple crown as a
Incredible.
manufacturer?
incredible. I mean, if they ever decide to enter IndyCar, obviously you're coming, mate. So
Yes,
we're just going to hire one of those massive RV things and
that's it.
drive across half of America and just go to Indy there. So yeah, how ridiculous would that be?
Yeah, you never say never, can you? But it'd be great if they
No,
did.
it would be. Yeah, it would be amazing.
Well, Toby, that's been fantastic to chat about such an amazing weekend. I'm sure we're still buzzing, aren't we? After the win. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the chat, and
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
we move on now to Formula One with the Spanish Grand Prix this coming weekend. So
Spain.
back
Yes,
to
that's
Formula
right.
One.
Have you seen this Carlos cap that was released today, by the way? What did
Yes,
you
it's
think of
got
that?
the Chile
Yeah,
logos and the Spanish flag.
I thought it was a bit whatever, to be honest, but
Yeah, I mean, I've heard actually it's not available till next week, which is weird. I mean, it's on pre-order, I think. Maybe not available till next Tuesday, but I might be wrong. But that's a bit silly when the event's actually this weekend, so that's a bit
it's a bit odd, isn't
not
it?
good planning.
No, no, but that's a shame. Well, I mean, I didn't like it anyway, so and I couldn't be bothered buying it. But
No,
I
fair
know
enough.
people out there love all that stuff, and they have to get the separate ones,
Yeah,
and that's great. If that's your thing, that's great. But
yeah,
for me, can't be bothered. I just
yeah.
once in a while, it's good. It's all. So yeah, it's goodbye from us. And before we go, I just want to say that although it's been an amazing weekend at Le Mans for us, there's also been a personal tragedy for people we know and people we've met. And so our thoughts and condolences go out to his friends and family. So anyway, those who know what we're talking about, this is to you. Anyway, thank you for watching and see you on the next one.
Thank you, guys.